Welcome to the Cumbria Chamber of Commerce podcast, your weekly update of business news and issues from around Cumbria. Find out how we support new business and help existing businesses to grow and flourish at cumbriachamber.co.uk. Now here's the Chamber's Business Engagement Manager, Julian Whittle, with this week's episode.
Hello, I'm here with David Leadbetter, Contract Manager at the Career Development Service Inspira, to talk about Inspira's Employer Mentoring Programme. Welcome, David.
Good afternoon.
I believe this programme is part of a national initiative. Explain what it is and why it was set up.
Sure. As you said, Inspira is a career and personal development organisation, and we work with young people and adults to support them to achieve their potential and make the most of life. And this opportunity came along to work with the Careers and Enterprise Company. They've asked us to deliver an employer mentoring programme throughout North and West Cumbria, to basically provide some support and encouragement for young people who could do with that little bit of confidence boosting, a bit of wind in the sails. Fits our brief as an organisation really well, and so we're starting this year to deliver the programme for the second year.
So you said North and West Cumbria, so not the south of the county.
Not currently the south of the county. So we're building on our work that we conducted last year in North and West Cumbria, and who knows, if that goes well, then certainly we think that we've been getting some good results, and it would be good to look to see where else we might be able to deploy the mentoring programme.
And what are the benefits to employers in getting involved in this?
I think there are a number of benefits. Some organisations involved, and last year we had over 50 organisations sign up for it. Some organisations see it as a clear way of being able to demonstrate their corporate social responsibility. But also, perhaps if they're looking to develop their own staff, junior managers, if there are people with potential within an organisation, perhaps looking to develop people outside of a particular job role, there are some great challenges there that the work brings along, opportunities for people to shine. And I think as well, people just like to put something back into their local community. So more than anything, there's a genuine interest there from the participants in doing something that's going to make a change.
Making a difference, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I get that. So what are the criteria that you use to select the youngsters who get the mentoring?
Young people who participate in the programme are often lacking in confidence.
Yeah.
So we'll be working with schools to identify appropriate young people who could perhaps take advantage of the opportunity of spending time with an employer mentor. And there are areas like confidence building that we can work around. We're wanting people to recognise the skills and abilities that they've got and look to take chances, perhaps that they wouldn't have taken before, to be ambitious. So we're looking to work with schools to identify people who can take advantage of that. It may be that there are other things that we're looking for as well in terms of criteria. It may be that someone's attendance is what it should be. They need a little bit of motivation and encouragement, that little bit of drive. So there may be other factors there. But the important thing for us is that we want young people to be involved who are interested in being involved, who've got the potential to succeed. We don't want to be wasting anyone's time. So we don't want employers to be taking time out of their busy schedules to turn up to be not to be valued by a young person. But equally, we want young people to be challenged and to develop and grow, and for everyone to see that.
Yeah, I suppose it gets them thinking about life after school as well, doesn't it? It gets them thinking beyond the narrow horizons of school and learning.
Absolutely, and that's what's inspirational, because we've got young people there very much in their school community, school environment. We've got people coming in from outside. And there are skills and expertise, there are stories there to share, and I think there's a lot to be said for a young person being given 30 minutes of someone's time, someone who's going to listen to them They're not coming with a particular agenda, and I think that can be really inspiring for a young person.
So what exactly is the role of the mentor? I mean, what do they do, and what sort of time commitment is involved?
As I said, it's a relatively limited time commitment, but we would be expecting something in the order of an hour and a half a month. We would look for an employer mentor to work one-to-one individually with 2 or 3 young people. We would link that employer mentor to a particular school. And that employer mentor would spend all of their time with those 2 or 3 young people.
And the programme, it runs for a year, is that right?
The programme would run for about a year. We would typically have 10 sessions. That's 10 half-an-hour sessions.
With each,
So we're not looking at hours upon hours. It's relatively short, but it is a time commitment. It needs to be a meaningful enough experience for us to be able to see some change, for people to feel that they're making a difference. So we've found that an input, say once a month, over the course of an academic year, is just about right for all concerned. It's a manageable time commitment for the employer, and it gives a young person perhaps opportunity to go away and act on any discussions or possibilities.
What sort of happens then within one of these sessions? What gets discussed? And
a lot of that's led by the young person. Often, though, it's about career goals, career aspirations, people perhaps not having any ideas, or perhaps not being sure about what options might suit them. So to talk about career aspiration, to talk about goals, to talk about perhaps what an employer's looking for in an employee, and then to talk about skills and qualities and experiences that young person has. They may not recognise those skills. They may need that sounding board or that challenge from a mentor just to explore what they're doing.
So what age groups fall under the mentoring then?
This year we're primarily focusing on year 10, so that would be 14, 15-year-olds. And that's quite a nice year because that year group have just started typically their GCSEs. Often towards the end of that year, there's work experience that people can undertake. And it's a good year, I think, and there's time for people to start really focusing and developing their career ideas, so they're not rushing, having this conversation right at the end of year 11, when they need to be making those decisions about whether an apprenticeship or a college course or a sixth form is right for them. They can start thinking early days.
That sounds good. I mean, you mentioned work experience. That was my next question, actually. Can the programme lead to work experience placements? And I suppose potentially, eventually, offers of employment once the young person leaves school?
Yeah, the outcomes really are quite varied. We're looking for young people to be really quite sort of to be inspired and driven as a result of this, to be optimistic about the future and what they can do. And we have had examples. Last year we had, say, one organisation that we work with, DRS. One of our mentors she was offered an engineering apprenticeship.
Great.
On the back of that, which is really good, a real big positive. Other practical things have included sort of summer work placements that young people have been offered. If we're talking about CVs and employability and having something to sell, then it's great to have those experiences. So often employers have helped with that.
I suppose that's another attraction to employers because we know from talking to businesses that some are having difficulty recruiting. So maybe having this dialogue, it's a potential workforce of tomorrow, isn't it? That you're getting in first with. But what training and support does Inspira provide to new mentors to help them prepare for the role?
Well, rest assured, we're not going to be just throwing someone into a school. And for some of our mentors, it's been a long time since they were in school as well. So we've got a wide age range of mentors. But what we want to make sure is that everyone feels comfortable and supported. So we've got Vicky, our employer mentor coordinator, who makes sure that she's that point of contact who makes sure that mentors are supported with the appointments. And if there are any issues or questions arising from a meeting, then Vicky's always there to help. In addition to that, and as part of someone's induction, we have got a training program. As you'd expect, we do all the necessary checks that we need to do to make sure that people can work in schools, and Vicky will take people through all of that. But essentially, as well as the training, and Vicky get a handbook as well. It's just important to know that there's someone there at the end of the phone if you need them. Most people take to it sort of dead easily. It's one-to-one, it's a chat at the end of the day. Sometimes people can feel a little bit intimidated by that. What am I going to say? But as part and parcel of the training, we cover that, and we've got some great icebreakers just to get the conversation started.
Okay. Now, you mentioned that last year was the first year that you'd run that. Is that right?
We had a small pilot a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
In the West Coast, and that worked really well. And from that, we secured this contract with the Careers and Enterprise Company and wanted to grow it and expand it. And last year worked even better. We had more people engaged, a range of employers wanting to participate, from Sellafield, and I mentioned DRS and Armstrong Watson, to the NHS, a range of organisations, large and small. And we want to keep on building up that momentum. So it was a successful year last year. We had lots of positive feedback. Lots of good feedback from schools as well, with teachers saying that young people engaged on this programme were perhaps absent less, seemed to be more motivated in class, and those young people themselves thinking that the experience has inspired them and feeling positive about the future and what's out there.
And have you had feedback from the mentors or the employers as well? What have they found it?
I think that the feedback that we've received from the mentors has been overwhelmingly positive. I think that initially anyone starting something new, there are perhaps some worries, and particularly sort of adults working with young people, sometimes concerns about how we're going to get on, what have we got to talk about, is there any common ground? I think that a lot of the relationships that have been that have developed have been really meaningful, and people have fed back, and mentors have fed back and said that this has been really empowering for me. I've got an awful lot out of this for myself, as well as the organisation that I'm representing. I feel good about what I've had to share.
Yeah, I bet it must be quite rewarding to think that you're helping a young person find their way in life. Absolutely. Really, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I get that. Now, you mentioned some of the businesses that have taken part in the programme. Yeah. They were all pretty much large businesses, or you mentioned the NHS, the large public sector. Is this something that is really just for large companies, or are you looking, for mentors from any size of business? Because we've got a lot of small businesses in Cumbria.
Absolutely, and I think the important thing is that we do have a mix, that we don't have employers of a particular size or a particular sector to the exclusion of others. It's all about having a mix there, and we do try and mix different employers in a school, and part of our selection process when we're trying to match young people with employers, we do tend to have a look at, if a young person's got any career interests. For example, someone wants to become a painter and decorator when they leave school, then let's see whether there's someone out there who can be that inspirational figure. And certainly, we do take small employers, self-employed people.
Right. Yeah.
I mentioned painting and decorating as an example because we just recruited a painter and decorator to be a mentor. So all sizes of organisation, from someone who's self-employed right the way through to the largest organisations. There's an opportunity there to get something out of it personally, and also for your organisation in the short term, and that investment in developing skills in the longer term as well.
Great. And what sort of business people become mentors? I mean, are we talking mainly about managers, or could any employee of a business potentially be a mentor, do you think?
Absolutely, because I think as much as anything, it's about giving young people time and listening to people, and we can all do that. And and we've all got a range of experiences to get to wherever we've got, whatever career path we've taken. And yeah, there may be managers there may be people, technicians, there may be people could be doing anything and everything, you know, and I think it's important to get that mix, as I said before, right? We need to show young people in Cumbria that there are a range of occupations and choices out there, a diversity of skills and interests and careers that you potentially could be part of. And, you know, it's a really good another way of introducing people to all those different opportunities that are available by bringing those employers into school.
Right. And now, so the final question is, you know, if our conversation has whetted businesses' appetite and they're interested in becoming mentors, where can they sign up and find out more information?
Well, to find out more, you can contact us here at Inspira.
Yeah.
And we can put you in contact with our employer mentor coordinator, Vicky.
Yeah.
And she will pick things up from there. So you can contact us on our telephone number 01931 711 300, or you can access us via our website, www.inspira.org.uk.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, David.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Cumbria Chamber of Commerce podcast. You can find out more about how we're supporting Cumbrian businesses at cumbriachamber.co.uk and cumbriagrowthhub.co.uk. In the meantime, thank you very much for listening, and we'll have another episode for you next week.